My name is Cesar, and I'm a sculptor, predominantly working in aluminum, and this is my art story. Most of this work and a lot of the things that I'm doing now as an artist started when I immigrated to America. I was surrounded by a lot of problems, and I thought about that if I became an inventor, that I could solve some of those problems. And so I was interested in what a new idea could do for my life. And essentially that creative problem solving is what turned into what I do now. It wasn't always clear that this is exactly what I was going to do. Coming to America is such a huge part of your life. I mean, essentially you, for lack of a better word, you die and you're reborn, and you have to think about how much of your former life you are going to keep. And as a young person, that's a really difficult question to ask. So a lot of what you're seeing today is works of art that live and contend with some of that. Predominantly what I had to deal with was how to become part of a bigger dialogue in art. So I had sort of had to give myself permission to investigate and to search around in what would be commonly understood as like Latino arts. I really had to give myself that permission to expand or to go outside of that. So what you're gonna see here and on the background are works of art that are done in an industrial manner, for example. Something like this here. And when you look at this profile, what you can see is how it was constructed and also what is holding it together. I'm predominantly interested in how an object itself can tell you a narrative instead of me giving you one. Although there is just as much information about me in this work. In this example, I was thinking about how works of art can hold specific information. So all of these smaller pieces are designed to reflect measurements in my hand. So I put parts of myself, the measurements in my hand, into these pieces of art, and this information then gets put away, but you don't know that they're holding this information. Think of it like fingerprints. There are parts of our bodies that are so specific to ourselves. The way in which when you get your mugshot, they take a picture of your ear, and even its profile is how you understand what that is. Imagine the chair that you're sitting on now, or the car, or even how you're viewing this on your phone. All of the things around us are made up by smaller parts, and I think that works of art like this begin to tell that story. So what you're seeing is pieces of aluminum that undergo a electrochemical process called anodizing, and it's a way of creating and putting color in. Again, like a painting, it doesn't just sit on the surface, it becomes the metal itself. And I find that to be a really compelling and interesting way of telling a story. Later this year, I get a chance to attend the Yale graduate program in the sculpture department. And I'm really excited about it. I believe that a lot of the search and research that I've been working on has really culminated into producing a body of work that I can discuss with other like minds, but also put it in the context of research, because I really believe that what I'm doing is something that can be studied. So with all this, right, where does it go? Where is it leading to? I think it's a really potent problem. It's a great problem to have, because you're walking in the dark. You're sort of moving through new forms and new ways of doing. Unfortunately, there aren't other people that look like me that make this type of work, or there aren't enough of us. And so you're kind of walking, potentially even running in the dark. And so you have to put a lot of trust into the future. There is a bigger metaphor here that asks us in the United States currently who and how gets to tell their story. Not just politically, but in a bigger sense. So if you think about it, it's not just about the art. I mean, there's a bigger thing happening here. That's why I design things that have the arguments inside of them that you can't read them. And I think that is where we can begin to have this conversation. My name is Cesar, and this is my art story.